welcome to all of you. Hope you all are well and safe in this pandemic situation. My name is Priyasnath Rathod. I am working as an assistant professor in Chemical Engineering Department, PIT Parul University. Today we are presenting webinar on how to crack social media to your benefits. I am pleased to introduce today's speaker, Ritika Madam. Let me give the small introduction of Madam. Madam is content writer, blogger, editor, ghostwriter, digital and brand strategist. She is the founder and CEO of Content Factory. She is also a champion at Ciros, which is the largest social business networking app for women. She is a board member of Prusem Chesta's Foundation. Member is also the chairperson for Thai Women Chandigarh. She is a core team member of TEDx Chandigarh. Now, Madam, I welcome you and I hand the session over to you. Welcome, Madam.
Thank you so much, Priyashnath sir, and thank you Parul University for giving me this opportunity. ये जो टॉपिक हमारा आज का है, इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक, एंड आई थिंक एज चिल्ड्रन और students of Parul University, most of you would be hearing this from your parents, from your teachers, from everybody that यार बस करो, ये सोशल मीडिया पे बस करो, जब देखो इंस्टाग्राम पे बैठे होते हो, जब देखो फोन हाथ में होता है, and all of that. So which is partly true also, and I'm a parent to an 18-year-old and 14-year-old, so I also completely said that. ये dialogues मैंने भी अपने बच्चों को बहुत मारे हुए हैं कि बेटा बस करो, enough is enough, and you know कुछ और भी जिंदगी में सोचो, सारा टाइम जब देखो इंस्टा स्नैपचैट चल रहा होता है तुम्हारा. So having said all of these things, there are still certain basics that you need to know to understand how to crack your social media. When I say this, I also want to be very humble in my admission here to say that it's not that I know how to crack it, but there are certain lessons as a digital marketing specialist that I have learned over the last 8 years in my journey as a professional in this field. I'm just going to share this with you as part one. Second, I'm going to be sharing this with you from the aspect of a parent as well. Third, I'm going to be sharing this with you as an aspect of a student. That as a student also, or a child also, how is it that you can take certain steps in order to make sure that if you have something like social media at your disposal, how can you make the best of it? I still don't know everything. There are still every day, there are new platforms that come in for communication. Every day there are new changes. Every day Google algorithm will change. Every day something or the other new will come up. Some new thing, WhatsApp privacy will go for a toss. Facebook पे कुछ हो रहा है, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ action हो रहा है. But whatever I know as of today, I'm happy to share with all of you. So if you're all ready, we're going to begin the session. सबसे पहले I'm going to be talking about why do you need social media, especially your generation. I don't think you even need social media. I don't know any other way that you know how to live. I remember बहुत देर पहले my young daughter, she was asked to write an essay on why do we need social media. So I was looking at her and I asked her, I said, do you think you'll be able to write it? She says, no, Mama, I can't even find the words. I don't know where to start. And that's when I realized that our children, your generation, will not understand the need or the want or somebody asking this question that why do you need social media? Because you don't know a world without it. I think since the time you were probably very young or probably born, at least I know my children, Facebook started with 12, 13 years ago when we also started using it. WhatsApp started almost 9, 10 years back and we started using it. So aap logon ke liye it's just a way of life. So aapke liye the question whether you need it or you don't need it probably doesn't arise. But I've still written it here so that you understand that what are the advantages and what are the things that you can do it and what is it that actually the role play of social media in your life. Okay. Second, सबसे जरूरी बात, it is one of the fastest way to communicate with another person. It doesn't matter which part of the world, what time zone, what geographical distance, what other factors may come into mind. This is the fastest way to communicate with another individual across the planet. I was reading somewhere that somebody had mentioned that what is Twitter? Twitter is the fastest reading newspaper in the world, and उसमें news आपकी every 1 second में change होती है. So you can imagine the speed at which you will gather information if you are on Twitter. And literally, I've had situations when there is an earthquake happening. There are people who, instead of saving their lives or running for cover, are actually tweeting saying there is an earthquake in so and so part of the world. So it is that a faster way to communicate. News channels के बाद तो बाद में आती है बात. पहले अगर कोई information चाहिए, news हो रहा है, कुछ भी हो रहा है, सबसे पहले it comes on Twitter. Third important thing, it's fun and engaging. Let's all face it. I enjoy social media as well. Whether it is online gaming, whether it is chatting, whether it is learning something new, whatever it may be, it's fun, it's engaging. आप कभी बोर नहीं होते हो. I don't think now you would ever go and tell your mummy or papa this, I'm really bored. और हम लोगों का बचपन में, I'm 46, when we were young, ये हमारा तकिया कलाम होता था हमारे पेरेंट्स को. मम्मी बोर हो गए, मम्मी कुछ नहीं है करने के लिए. एंड मम्मी ऑल्सो सिर्फ अपना पकड़ के बैठी होती थी कि समर वेकेशंस में how do I keep my children busy. That is something that doesn't happen with your generation anymore. Another important thing is what information you get on social media is all knowledge. I mean, there is so much that you can learn. It's the world at your feet. Earlier, every particular skill set that you needed to acquire, you needed to do a particular course, you needed to have a certain person who would introduce you to that particular line. आज की डेट में तो हम सब ज्ञानी हैं, किसी को भी कुछ भी पूछ लो. कितनी conversations irrelevant हो गई हैं. Imagine earlier a conversation starter with a stranger or anybody for that matter used to be, आज का मौसम का क्या हाल है? How is the मौसम there? Weather कैसा है आज? Now people look at you like this and say, ये कैसा question है यार? मतलब Google करके देख लो. What is there to ask? When people in our WhatsApp groups also ask questions like, what is the meaning of this? And we all just shrug our shoulders and say, just Google it. I mean, ये question पूछने की भी क्या जरूरत है? So that is the kind of information which is available at your fingertips every waking moment of your life. Every single second, there is somebody or the other who's using the internet. We don't know a world without it anymore. Also, one of the things it makes you do is it makes you a global citizen. How? Because now you are you don't have to visit a particular country anymore to even understand what the culture is, what is it that people do. There would be a million videos. Let us say you want to go and travel to Europe tomorrow, or you need to understand how the Europeans function. All you need to do is type 6 words into the into Google internet search, and then everything is sorted and you know everything about it. I'll share a very funny incident with you. A couple of years back, my family was wanting to travel to Singapore for a vacation. It was supposed to be a 6-day vacation, and my husband told me, I don't really have the time, Ritika, so why don't you just figure out our entire itinerary and figure out where all we can go. We have parents with us, we have children with us, so just make sure that we are going to the right places and just see the amount of money we'll end up spending. I said, okay. I sat on the internet for about good 4 days, and after 4 days I gave up. I told him, I said, look, my entire excitement and that feeling that I'll be going to Singapore is completely lost, and I'm so disillusioned, disappointed, and I'm disinterested as of now. So he asked me, he says, kyun aisa kya ho gaya? What? It's not a nice country, it's not a good place for children. He was very very confused. So then I told him, I said, मैंने सब कुछ तो देख लिया इंटरनेट पे, उन्होंने वीडियोस भी दिखा दिए कि ये ऐसे राइड चलेगी, ये ऐसे. मैं कहा मेरा तो मजा ही चला गया सारा उसको देखने का, because I've already seen it. I mean, there's so much of virtual stuff out there that sometimes I think it takes away from the novelty. But this is just a funny experience, so it makes you global. So you can visit any part of the world without actually going there. Of course, the physical effort and the physical presence is a different story altogether. But it's not that अब आप यूरोप नहीं गए तो आपको ये नहीं पता कि यूरोपियंस कैसे फंक्शन करते हैं या कैसे दिखते हैं. And one of the other most important things, it's free. हम लोग सारा टाइम इसे यूज करते हैं. आई थिंक 1,000 रुपए का पैकेज हर घर में चलता है. It doesn't matter which part you are in. Some थोड़ा सा महंगा, थोड़ा सस्ता होएगा. More or less everything is free. WhatsApp is free, Facebook is free. I think you only pay a price for it in a different way, which I will come to in my next slide. But essentially, internet is free. All you need is a connection. That's just about it. And I think this is one point, the last one here on my slide, that it's your identity now. I can't focus on this enough. You see, what is happening is that we have multiple platforms that we are on, and every platform we've created our account, and we are posting or sharing something or liking something or watching something or whatever it may be. At the end of the day, whether it is professionally or personally, your social media profile defines who you are, because this is the one platform where all of us need to express. We all express, we share photographs, we share experiences. वो nail भी टूट जाता है तो हम वो भी share करते हैं वहाँ पे. So it now has become your identity. Of course, there are a lot of people who are faking it, etc., etc. That said, I still believe that for the genuine people who are using social media, putting out, legit information out there about themselves, it is now our identity. And this will take me to my next slide, that what are the downsides of social media. You know the upsides, right? ये downsides भी I think मोटे मोटे सब आप लोगों को पता ही है, but holding a session on this, I think it was critically important for me to again share this, reiterate. I don't think इसमें से कुछ भी ऐसा है जो आपको नहीं पता होगा, but I think sessions like these help in reiterating these issues and telling you and giving you those reminders that please be careful. It is not all rosy out there. So let me start with the downsides first. सबसे पहले privacy and data breaches. You know it, I know it, that once something goes online, there is absolutely no privacy left to your data or anything. You know WhatsApp has privacy policies which has changed. You know Facebook has, you know Instagram has. You know that Facebook is actually recording everything you do, everything, even when your app is off. I don't know how many of you young children understand or know this, but this is something personally experienced by me, and not once, but many times. I just choose to ignore it because as a business person, I personally cannot function without WhatsApp. So I'm still on it, but you also know it, I also know it. आप जरा सा कोई conversation random कीजिए अपने friends के साथ. Like I remember once I was talking to a friend who was moving house. So we started discussing about furniture, where to get second-hand furniture. चंडीगढ़ में कोई जगह है जहाँ पे second-hand furniture हम लोग ले सकते हैं, दे सकते हैं, खरीद सकते हो, whatever. You won't believe it. The next day, Facebook started showing me ads of furniture houses in and around Chandigarh, maybe somewhere else also around this area, maybe Punjab, maybe whatever. And I was like, dude, how do these guys know that I was talking about furniture? And my app was off. It is not that my app was on or my phone was on. Facebook is listening to everything. I'm sorry if this is kind of being a bummer for you people, but this is the truth. And you can try it at home, pick up any random topic, start having conversations with your friends or at home with family, and you will see the Facebook ads of exactly those topics which will start appearing in your feed. It is really, really unsettling, but that's how it is as on today. Second, the downside, a person like me, I'm an oversensitive person. I cannot handle images, or I cannot handle certain things which are extremely violent or, full of blood or gore or accidents or crashes or things like that. I think I'm the kind of person who cannot unsee it. वो कहीं पे मेरे दिमाग में कोई ना कोई एक particular image फंस जाती है, and it becomes very difficult for me to get over it. And I realize that these are things that you subconsciously or consciously cannot control. You see 100 images in a day, somehow just one or two without any conscious effort will stick in your mind, and the rest of them won't. So I think it exposes you to a lot of inappropriate content, which is definitely not good for you as for your particular age group or to your sensitivity, so to say. Of course, we all know about virtual abuse and bullying. I don't have to tell you. I'm sure all of you at some stage or the other have been bullied, or you have bullied someone over social media. We all know that. And I think the younger children are far more prone to it because they are still trying to figure out how to use this particular platform. They are still young. They still don't understand understand how emotions work. They are still in that phase where they're looking for validations, where they're trying to grow, and उसमें से कोई उनको troll कर दे, abuse कर दे, कोई bully कर दे, it becomes life threatening for them. They become suicidal. They get these feelings of worthlessness. So you and I both know that this is one of the biggest downsides of being on the internet is virtual abuse and bullying. Fourth, the one that I started my session with, कि addiction हो जाती है. सारा time मम्मी बोल रही है, पापा बोल रहे हैं, but you just cannot get your hands off the phone. आपको फोन पे देखना है, सुबह उठते साथ तुम्हें इंस्टा पे चेक करना है, तुम्हें सब कुछ देखना है, एवरीथिंग, कोई व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज है. आजकल के बच्चे, आई नो यूड से कि मैम कोरोना का टाइम है, मेरे बच्चे भी यही बोलते हैं, मैम ममा दैट यू नो हम क्या कर सकते हैं, मैम ने इंफॉर्मेशन व्हाट्सएप पे भेजी है, ऑल द होमवर्क हैज कम ऑन द लैपटॉप, यू नो इट इज ऑल इन माय ईमेल और दिस और दैट. उसके लिए फोन तो खोलना पड़ेगा, लैपटॉप खोलना पड़ेगा. सो आई थिंक द ओनली वे आई हैव चेक्ड माई सेल्फ to figure out whether I'm addicted or not, which you can try too, is that when you're having a conversation with another person, आप दो लोग बैठे हैं, बात करें, भाई बहन हो, माँ बेटा हो, कोई भी हो for that matter, or you're sitting with a friend and chatting, आप कभी देखिए आपका कितनी बारी आपको अर्ज होता है पहले अपना फोन पकड़ने का, दूसरा टू सी कि कोई नोटिफिकेशन तो नहीं आई है, और दूसरा how many times you actually go and pick it up and check. आप लोगों ने वो बहुत सारे ऐसे सीन्स देखे होंगे. एटलीस्ट इट ब्रेक्स माई हार्ट व्हेन आई सी इट. व्हेन यू गो टू अ रेस्टोरेंट, यू सी अ वंडरफुल फैमिली ऑफ 4 सिटिंग, मॉम है, डैड है, 2 बच्चे हैं, आइडियल टिपिकल फैमिली, एंड सडनली उसमें से आप देख रहे हो कि फादर इज ऑन अ कॉल, मदर इज ऑन हर इंस्टा क्लिकिंग पिक्चर्स ऑफ फूड, चिल्ड्रन आर प्लेइंग गेम्स ऑनलाइन और चैटिंग विद समवन एल्स. एंड द होल रीजन व्हाई, द होल आइडिया बिहाइंड नॉट सिटिंग एट होम एंड गोइंग आउट टुगेदर एज अ फैमिली फॉर अ मील, the idea is कि आप 4 लोग हो, आप बैठे हो वहां पे, मम्मी doesn't have to worry about खाना, पापा doesn't have to worry about गरम फुल्का है या नहीं है, all 4 of you are sitting, you're forced to sit because you can't run around and eat, आपके पास वही एक टेबल है, so everybody is forced into a conversation. That is how people talk and things come out and you bond with your family. अब तो वो फोन ही होता है और उसी में ही सब कुछ हो रहा होता है. So that's very heartbreaking for me. And frankly, if you ask me, when I have noticed myself that now when I'm chatting or I'm talking with somebody physically, I don't pick up my phone to check my notifications unless until it's a business thing and something is on my mind. So maybe you can take some tips from there and figure out, are you addicted to your phone or to social media? Either of the two things, figure that out for yourself. And this is my biggest pet peeve against social media or using social media platforms, whether it is a WhatsApp, whether it is email, whether it is just surfing the net, not even social media is a radiation. At the end of the day, scientifically proven by every person that I know of, that laptops and phones give out radiation which is harmful, and harmful enough to cause cancer. And I cannot insist on this enough. You don't know it now. आप अभी ये सोच रहे हो थोड़ी देर का टाइम है, ये है, वो है, फलाना है, ढिमकाना है. But at the end of the day, when the addiction grows and grows and grows, where every time waking moment you are on your phone and sometimes losing sleep because of it, whether it is your laptop or your phone, you are being subject to radiation. The only way out of this is to not use the laptop and to not use the phone. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Then the next one, mental health issues. Cannot again insist on this enough, that I think we've all been through stages where social media has played a very, very big role in defining our mental health. You can get depressed when you see someone performing very well. You can feel elated. Again, these are extreme emotions, or feel that sense of superiority when you see someone else going through a bad patch. When you're listening to too much of depressing news, like we do right now about people because of corona suffering or certain images etc, they can make you genuinely depressed. आपकी अपनी life में इस चार दीवारी में ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा where you feel that you should be depressed or something is wrong. घर में सब खुश हैं, ठीक है, everybody is fine, but exposure to this kind of news or anything will definitely put some pressure on your mental health as well. वो तभी बोलते हैं कि थोड़ी देर के लिए टीवी ऑफ कर दो, थोड़ी देर न्यूज बंद कर दो, न्यूज चैनल्स देखने बंद कर दो, etc. There is some legitimacy in that. And TMI, I personally believe that, you know, our generation, I'm 46 years old, our generation has seen the best side of both worlds, a world without social media and a world with social media. So I think we are totally blessed in that way that we know a world जहाँ मिट्टी में खेलते थे और झूलों पे झूलते थे और पेड़ों पे चढ़ते थे, और अब वो स्टेज है कि हमारे बच्चे घर से नीचे निकल के ही राजी नहीं है, बिकॉज उनको अगर फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज के लिए भी फोर्स करो तो भी कानों में स्पीकर्स और ये होते हैं, और तभी वो रन के लिए जाते हैं, या उनका कुछ साथ साथ चैटिंग कहीं चल रहा होता है तो ही वो लोग बाहर निकलते हैं. Otherwise, physical activity is all done and dusted with. TMI is too much information. I personally believe that there is just too much of information overload on young minds, and I mean minds like yours. In our this thing, हमें अगर इतनी सारी information चाहिए होती थी, so there used to be this one place in the whole world where you can get that, and that used to be the library. And उसके लिए effort लगती थी, और बड़े अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ वो एक इमेज ब्रेक करके जाना पड़ता था. हम लाइक दे लुक एट यू एंड से, तो लाइब्रेरी जाना, यू गो टू द लाइब्रेरी, आर यू ऑलराइट, आर यू नॉर्मल, व्हाट इज रॉन्ग विद यू? वेरी फ्यू स्टूडेंट्स, ओनली द geeks and the weirdos used to go to the library. Now all this information, whether it anything and everything, is available one single click. So I think children are expected to know more. They are expected to understand more. They are expected to do more, because they say, "अरे ये सारी information तो है तुम्हारे पास. Why do you need? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do this?" So I think the expectations from people have also gone up, because you expect people to read. You expect people to, surf the internet and know what is happening. आप लोग आजकल ये बड़ा सुनते होगे, फिर अरे तुमने न्यूज में नहीं देखा, तुमने ये नहीं पढ़ा, तुम्हें इसके बारे में नहीं पता. I mean, dude, there is so much happening. How much can one mind even remember in those couple of hours? And even when I go and surf the internet, I may just pick up a different website and have access to different information. And somebody else could have access to different information. I went to the internet and surfed maybe something about, let us say, the Eiffel Tower today. And you would have gone and you would have something, maybe read something about Israel and Palestine. So you have a different set of information. I have a different set of information. I would think you don't know anything, and you think I don't know anything. So I think this too much information is causing a lot of, I think, issues amongst people, because there is an information overload. Children are unable to process all of that. I'll come to how to deal with it a little later. Now, the last but not the least on this slide. It's forever. There is no delete button. I'm just reading it from here. I am telling you, as a social media expert who is handling or has handled social media for over 300, 400 clients in the last 8 years, I will tell you, there is nothing called a delete button on the internet. वो आप पोस्ट डालो, आप उसे डिलीट कर दो, वो कहीं ना कहीं घूम फिर के किसी ना किसी आर्काइव में. The internet does not forget anything. You post a picture, you delete it, it is still on the internet. It is the biggest, most scariest, and the most dangerous thing about social media. And take it from an expert when I'm telling you this, whether it is me, whether it is you, whether you're a small account holder, whether you are on one platform, whether you are on 100 platforms communicating with anybody, there is nothing called delete on social media. So once you've done it, you've posted it, you've said something, it's going to be there forever. It may immediately move away from your timeline. आपकी प्लेटफॉर्म पे कोई आएगा, आपके हैंडल पे कोई आएगा, आपकी टाइमलाइन पे कोई आएगा, वो पोस्ट नहीं नजर आएगी वहां पे, पर कहीं ना कहीं से घूम फिर वो कहीं ना किसी और की टाइमलाइन पे डेफिनेटली शो होगी. So now, once you know the downsides, let me come to the things that you should and should not do. I hope this is making some sense to you. Please put your questions to Professor Priyashnath. I think he'll take care of them as and when we go along. So I'm going to go to my next slide. My next slide is, what are the things that you should do when you are on social media platforms? Please listen to me very, very carefully. I know that a lot of these things you already know, but I am again here to reiterate the same. This सारी information जो आज आपको मैं इन slides में दे रही हूँ, most of it will be available on the internet. If you go, you Google, you will find almost everything. But I hope this makes, like a package, it makes some sense to you. I think the things that you should be using social media for is showcasing your achievements and skill sets. This is like the biggest plus point of being on social media. That आप अपने achievements, अपने awards, अपने certificates, you can show showcase them on the social media platform. And I will come to it much later after this, that why this needs to be done as young adults. I don't like to call you adults. I don't like to call you, though I know most of you are above 18, but I still think that till you're 24, 25, I'll still call you young adults. The other things that you should do or can do is put perspectives, share your thoughts, like, tweet, whatever that you feel like, but do it without a bias. I think it's extremely, extremely important. And you have access to information. So, aaj ki date mein, none of you can get up and tell me that, oh, ma'am, we didn't know that this was supposed to be a racist comment, or we didn't know this was a gender or a feminist comment, or हमें नहीं पता था ये गलत है. I think वो बहुत rare cases में होता है, where suddenly these people, they try and say something and it is misconstrued. I'll come to the trolling bit much later. But as far as your own judgments allow you to do, make sure that whatever you're sharing is without a proper, with proper thought through, once you've thought through everything and without any bias. So let me give you a small example. आप एक पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी के बारे में कुछ लिख रहे हो. Imagine the same thing if that other community would like to write about you. So it kind of simple logic. If you're writing something, look at it from different people's perspectives and then share it. You'll get an idea as to how right or wrong it is. And if you're in doubt, don't do it. रहने दो उसको, जाने दो उस चीज को. Think of something else to write or post about. And always, this is especially true, and it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl, as long as you are a young adult. And even if younger, if you have younger brothers, sisters at home, please make sure that one parent has your back on social media. Make sure that one parent in the house or one adult in the house, somebody who can do stuff, make sure that they are in the loop, that आपके साथ क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा, आप किन लोगों से connect कर रहे हो, strangers हैं, नहीं हैं, new friends हैं, क्या है, क्या नहीं है, conversations किस type की हो रही हैं, क्या हो रहा है, which way is it going. Super, 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 super critical that you make sure that you have one, not a young adult, but an old adult who knows how to take care of things. They should be in the loop always. And it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl. When bullying happens, when trolling happens, when exploitation happens, when sexual exploitation happens, it's not necessary that it happens only to girls. It's a myth. Some boys are subject to it too. So if you're a boy or a girl, please make sure that you have one parent in the loop all the time. And goes without saying, if you have any kind of activity or something which is making you uncomfortable and that you feel could be inappropriate, please have either the platform where you are and where these comments or these posts have come, either them or a parent in the house whom you can go back to and report that this is what has happened. And this is one of those places on social media where this phrase is hits the nail on the head, that a stitch in time saves nine. The moment you start feeling that this conversation or this person or this post could go in a direction which is not appropriate or is making you uncomfortable, stop it right there and then. Right there and then. I mean, the risk is definitely not worth it. And I say it out of experience. I'll come to some of my experiences when I share them. Even as an adult, I have run into trouble so many times simply because I was not trusting my instincts, or I misjudged, or I just thought कि इसमें मेरा नुकसान क्या हो जाएगा, but हो गया. I will come to that in my next slide. Another thing that you should do on social media is network. I think I cannot insist on this enough, that it is essentially a platform for connecting people, right? All these social media handles on platforms that we have, use that. Use that to network with people that you know, that you don't know, people who inspire you. Follow celebrities if you really feel like. And when I say celebrities, please don't misunderstand me. I don't mean the Bollywood, Hollywood actors. There are far more what I would say impactful celebrities in the world. Please try and see if you can. The reason I'm asking you to do this is because their thought processes, their way of thinking, their way of life is very, very inspiring. And sometimes that's all that you need to go from level A to level B in your life. See, your parents cannot do everything for you. Your parents can just give you a support system. Yes, some parents are super inspiring, achievers, but most of our parents are regular people who go to office and come back. I mean, everybody is not a celebrity, so to say. Everybody doesn't have those amazing points of view which you can learn from, or, think of them as your value systems or whatever. And I say it out of complete respect for parents. I'm not saying that the parents are not good enough. I'm just saying that some parents are not, let us say, celebrities. So in that case, follow these people, figure out what their lives are, read different kinds of perspectives from different people, spread yourself a little bit. If you are, let us say, a chemical engineering student, I don't think your lives should be completely, or everything should be about chemical engineering in your life. Think of something else. Think of AI. Think of maybe how people learn how to play the piano and how young children can benefit out. I mean, any kind of topic. The world is at your feet. Pick up, network, connect with people. Of course, please respect people's responses to your request for networking. Everybody may not want to network with you, and that is fine. That is absolutely fine. Like you would be saying no to 10 other people. Let us say someone sends you a friend request or on Facebook, or someone sends you a connection request on LinkedIn. There are people you say no to. Similarly, it's okay if people say no to you. Figure out more people. There are enough fish in the sea. I think another brilliant thing that you can do with social media is to build your profile. I cannot, again, insist on this enough. And I'll give you my example here. I am a business which is run 100% because of the internet. I started my entrepreneurial journey as a content writer, ghostwriter, digital marketing specialist about 8 years back. I'm a master's in English literature. I'm not trained to do what I do. I don't have an MBA degree or anything. The only way I have figured out how social media works is by using social media and by using the internet. So when somebody does ask me in a lighter vein, I say, "Aapke qualifications kya hai?" So I said, Google is my university and Google is my degree. So I have been running successful. I don't want to say superbly successful. So we are very humble people. We are running a successful content writing, digital marketing business for the last 8 years by a team of 14, 15 girls. None of us are trained beyond a point to know how this works, but we are doing it only because of the internet. So you can imagine that if I can run a business, earn real money in the real world, imagine what it can do to your own profile. How can you upskill? There are thousands and thousands of courses which are available free of cost. I was telling my young children the other day that if you would create your profile, उसमें अब ये दो चीजें सबसे ज्यादा irrelevant और सबसे ज्यादा what should I say, annoying लगती हैं, even as a person who is willing to hire. One is listening to music and the other is reading. हमारे जमाने में ना जब हम अपने रेज्यूमे पे ये लिखते थे, it sounded like amazing, wow, because it was just one of the very few things people used to do, because knowledge used to come only from books. So when you used to say reading, used to say इसको knowledge बहुत होगा. अब क्या है? I don't know, where we meet for book reading. So we trying to get the old art of books into the fore, and I am like the worst performer in the group. Okay, that they would put the name of the book in the group in the beginning of the month and say, okay, everybody will read this book, and at the end of the month we will meet and then we will discuss the book, different perspectives. It's an amazing, great way of understanding how people think and different perspectives on the same book. And I realized I was the worst performer. I would, every time I would go into the book reading session, I was like, oh, I didn't read the book. So I'll just keep looking at people here or there. Acha, tumko kya laga? Tumko kya samajh aaya? What character? What this? What that? Never understand anything except for the classics, which, because in my younger days, I was a great reader. So those I understood, those I could recall a bit, but the new authors or the new books, I was totally lost. And that's when I realized that I may not be reading books, but I am on the internet surfing as a content writer. I need to be on the top of my game. So I need to know everything about everything, right? That because I write in different verticals. So I'll have a client who is into artificial intelligence. I'll have somebody who's into cryptocurrency. I'll have somebody who's working on ed tech, somebody who's working on financial tech, someone who's on some. So I need to understand a lot of things which are going on, the biggest news stories. I need to keep myself completely updated to be a good writer. And that is when I was talking to my friends, I realized that even though I don't read books, but I'm surfing the internet, I probably have far more knowledge than what that book can give to me. But at the same time, I think it is very important, not that I am underplaying books and trying to say that no, the internet has far more information, but the things that you can do on the internet, the way you can build your profile, because this knowledge is easily accessible. You can't go to a library at 4 a.m., right? You can't go to the library if you feel like doing something or you have a doubt at 12 o'clock in the night, but the internet gives you that option. So build your profile, please upskill. Sir is going to kill me for this, but there is more to life than being a chemical engineer, and that's not just life where life stops. So do everything in all curricular activities. अगर स्कूल नहीं कराता, कॉलेज नहीं कराता, यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं कराती, पेरेंट्स के पास एक्सेस नहीं है, छोटे शहर में रहते हो, एक्सपोजर नहीं हुआ, कुछ नहीं हुआ, all bunkum. Get on the internet, do your stuff. Simple as that. Then the other next thing, I think, which I've discussed is before, that whenever you are in doubt or not sure about what is happening, whether it is correct, not correct, intuitively or otherwise, block, delete, finish it and forget about it. And if something more happens, please report it. I've already told you that. Make sure you're doing these things. The stakes are very high. The only thing you can do is try and play as safe as you can. You will still make mistakes. There will still be issues. There will still be hangamas that are going to happen. But usko jitna minimize kar sako in your immediate knowledge, whatever you know, if you can play that right, I think it will work for you. Another important thing which I've also done is build your online support system. What I mean by this is that, in fact, my daughter was giving me this example today in the morning, that someone posted something about, let us say, a very feminist kind of a remark. And there were 3-4 people who immediately came and attacked that person into saying that, oh, this is not right, or this is a very wrong way of projecting women, flana, dhimkana, ye wo, this and that. So what happened after that was, those 2-3 people who trolled my daughter's friend were again trolled and criticized by her support system. So she suddenly had like about 30-40 people who badly trolled these people. And we also knew that when those trollers were talking about or, criticizing her, they were just doing it just for the heck of doing it. I mean, frankly, if you ask me, there is a lot which goes on even on my timelines. There is so much. If I particularly don't like something or it's something I don't agree with, I just let it be. And I'll come to that in my next slide when you know what I'm saying when I say this. Be kind and respectful. You will get mostly, respect in return. Mostly, no guarantees there. But make sure that you're giving due credits to people. Content kahin se utha rahe ho, don't copy and post it somewhere and, claim that it is yours. It just reflects very badly. And the internet is a very dangerous place. I mean, there is nothing you can hide, or there is nothing you can, if I've said something before in any particular webinar, which is not what I'm saying right now, believe you me, 30 minutes from now, somebody would have posted something there somewhere that, oh, so-and-so person, abhi to yahan gyan de rahi thi, aise karo, khud usne wahan pe kuch aur bola tha. So be very careful. People are watching, everybody has this thing. You're allowed to change your mind, you're allowed to change the way you think, you're allowed to grow, you're allowed to evolve, but you're not allowed to cheat and lie. Simple as that. So I remember an incident a couple of years back. I had written something about, yes, I don't know if all of you remember the story of a family which had gone to Thailand. And उन्होंने वहां से उनके hotel room से they had picked up those hair dryers and things like that. And then a video was made by those, I think, hotel owners, where they said that this is what Asian families do. And वो सारी जगह पे viral हो गया. And people were going like, हाँ इनको punish होना चाहिए, bloody Indians, bloody Asians, कितनी family चोर हैं, फलाना है, ढिमकाना है. तो मैं एक हफ्ते तक सुनती रही. It's so embarrassing. People were like पूरे dance drama के साथ, it's so embarrassing and this and that, and serve them right and this and that. Frankly, as a human being who holds ethics and morals on a very high ground, I personally thought that yes, what they did was very, very wrong. गलत काम किया उन्होंने as a family. But this is my personal belief that I said that, there are, I think if you remember in that video, there were these 2 young kids. They had children. I think the daughter thi unki ek, who must have been maybe 16, 17, 18, and a son who was probably 10, 12 years or whatever. So I was writing, I put a post out on Facebook. I think it's still there. You guys can go and check it if you have the time. Where I had written that it's extremely unfair. I understand कि उन्होंने कुछ गलत काम किया, and we need to punish these people. And I'm sure उनकी punishment काफी हुई भी होगी. उन्होंने उनको उनको रोजर भी क्या होगा, maybe the Thailand government not even permit them to enter their country again or whatever. But I think they were young kids in the picture, right? So that child or those two children, when they would go to school, they will be so heavily trolled, abused and shamed. See, गलती हम सबसे होती है, we all make mistakes, right? किसी की पकड़ी गई तो वो आउट ऑफ, मतलब वो तो बहुत बड़ी होगी, हम में से कितने लोग हैं जो गड़बड़ करते हैं, वो पकड़े नहीं जाते और we just sit on moral high ground. All I said was that do share so that it's a lesson for other people. आगे अगर कल कोई सोचे कि हाँ मैं ऐसे किसी होटल में जाऊं और मैं ऐसा कुछ करूं, so it's a bummer for them that they get a little scared. They understand that people could be watching. So these are good things to do. But I think what they should have done is they should have fussed the faces of the children and that particular couple who did this. This is my personal view. And I was again very heavily trolled, and some gentleman picked up that entire post of mine and entirely within 30 minutes उसको copy paste करके उन्होंने अपने timeline के ऊपर डाल दिया. मुझे पता नहीं चला. After 2-3 days when I saw it, I said, dude, what's happening? This is a very senior uncle, somebody that I'd known for so many years, and he had somehow blocked me so that I don't see that his post had been copied and pasted. My post had been copied and pasted. And when I wrote a message to him and I said, uncle, what is this? I mean, this is my content and you didn't even give me due credit. I felt very cheated and violated. और उनको उस पोस्ट के ऊपर not and मैं कोई वो थी कि नहीं मुझे I wanted all the attention, वो सारी likes मेरी आनी चाहिए, but just didn't feel right. So one of the things that I now do is if there is content which is copied or there is something which somebody else has said or it's being shared by someone, I think it's a good idea to always give due credit to the person who's written it or person who's shared it. It is just a good practice to have so that tomorrow when you get up and somebody steals your content, you can also get up and say, dude, this is not happening and this is not right. Okay, so this is again complete this slide. I'm coming to my next one, which is obviously the things that you should, one second. Okay, this is what we're going to talk about, the things that you should not do on social media. Okay. One of my pet peeves on social media is when other people tag you on posts which are completely irrelevant to you. Either they are tagging you or people share my pictures or things that have happened to me without my permission. This tagging thing can get very, very annoying and super unnerving for me also. And I usually end up politely telling the person, please do not tag me on posts which are not relevant. So I'll give an example. So I am an entrepreneurship evangelist. So if let us say there is a post which somebody is putting out on entrepreneurship, whether for women or for young children or just generally for all startups across, and it is relevant, and by coming on my timeline, it is going to be going to the right target audiences. I'm more than happy to support it, like it, share it, do whatever. But if you're going to be tagging me just so that you can get more likes, so that more people can view it, and which is not even relevant to what I do or to my life, then it is a big no-no. And these people usually start to get blocked mostly that's what happens. So do the right thing in the first place so that tomorrow you can get up and raise your voice against something that goes wrong with you as well. Another big thing, and I cannot again insist on this enough, is that do not post anything that is religious, racist, political, or gender biased. I'll give you a small example. And this happened very recently until 2 years back. One of my friends' sons, after their 12th, I think, was had got a university admission in Canada, and a very prestigious university. I forget the name now. And he was very thrilled. The parents are happy that my bachche ki admission hogi, Canada ja raha hai. And 2 saal purani baat hai, even before Corona happened. And suddenly one day I see that his profile is missing, the mother's profile is missing, and suddenly everything is. So I called up the friend and I said, is everything okay? What is wrong? Why is your son still in town? Because my son would tell me कि वो तो गया ही नहीं बाहर, मम्मी उसकी तो यूनिवर्सिटी की application cancel होगी. So I called up my friend and I asked her, I said, boss, what's going on? So she said that Jyotika, somewhere her son had put out a very random, funny meme kind of a post on Instagram on racism, and the university had seen that post. Because I will tell you this today, like I said in my first slide, that it has become our identity now. I don't know if all of you know this. You are all going to be looking for jobs probably in the next 2 to 3 years and will be working. Please understand one thing, that I work with HR a lot. every company which is going to hire you is going to slice and dice through your social media profiles just to understand the kind of person you are. And like I said in the first thing, it says a lot about who we are. Are you usually kind and respectful? Do you have integrity? How easily do you pick up fights with other people? Are you easily irritable? Are you easily triggered? What are your thought process on religion? Are you like a staunch one religion kind of a person, or are you usually okay with a couple of, then you respect other people's opinions? Are you biased? Are you unbiased? I mean, these things come out on your social media profiles. So this is what I tell my children also, I tell myself also, that please do not post anything which reeks of bias of any kind. That child, his parents had paid in crores to get into that particular, I think, course in a particular university, or uski university ki cancel hogi admission because the Canadian government said that, I'm sorry ma'am, we do not support racism in Canada. His university admission went for a toss. And I will tell you this today, it has happened a lot of times. I don't know, if you go to LinkedIn and you Google, you search, you will find out how many people have either not been called for an interview in the first place, or people have lost their jobs because of the kind of stuff they post on social media. You know, the problem with social media is it's so easy, it's so easily accessible, it is free, and instantly हो जाता है सब कुछ. अगर आपको just think for 2 minutes, and I'm coming to my next point, which says that never post anything when you're either too angry, sad or happy. So गुस्सा आता है, you feel like writing something. अब फोन भी तुम्हारे पास है, तुम्हारे पास इंटरनेट भी है, सब कुछ है, तुम्हारे पास सोशल मीडिया प्रोफाइल रेडी है, तुम ऑलरेडी इंस्टाग्राम पे बैठे हो, एंड ठक 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 करके पुट इन समथिंग एंड से ओ आई एम सो पिस्ड एंड व्हाट हैपेंस, देयर आर रेपरकशंस टू दैट. अर्लियर क्या होता था, गुस्सा आता, तुम घर बैठे हो, बिफोर यू वुड एक्चुअली गो आउट एंड मीट समबडी, तुम्हारा गुस्सा भी शांत हो जाता है, सब कुछ. अभी एवरीथिंग इज सो इंस्टेंट. आई मीन, द मोमेंट यू आर क्राइंग, यू वांट टू पुट, अभी अर्थक्वेक आ रहा है, यू वांट टू शेयर इट. अभी मेरे को मम्मी ने डांट दिया, मेरे को ये शेयर करना है. मेरा ब्रेकअप हो गया, मुझे शेयर करना है. मेरे साथ फलाना हो गया, मेरे शेयर करना है. मेरे को नौकरी मिल गई, मुझे शेयर करना है. आई मीन, एनीथिंग, एनी इंफॉर्मेशन you want to just immediately share. So just stop yourself, take a deep breath. And when I always say that when you're too angry, too sad, too happy, avoid posting. फिर भी करना है, after couple of hours you still feel no, this needs to go out, no harm in venting, please go ahead and do it, but be prepared, there will be repercussions, there will be people who will be sitting in judgment on you. जो भी है ऐसा ही है, that's how it is. Again, in anything, don't share personal data. हाउस एड्रेसेस, घर पे कौन है कौन नहीं है, कितने बजे जाते हो, क्या रूटीन है, बेसिक कॉमन सेंस, आई डोंट नीड टू टेल यू, प्लीज अवॉइड शेयरिंग दैट. ऑल्सो वन मोर थिंग, प्लीज डू नॉट शेयर अनवेरिफाइड कॉन्टेंट. ये प्लीज गलती से भी मत कीजिएगा, बिकॉज यू जस्ट एड मोर नॉइज टू ऑलरेडी सो मच ऑफ नॉइज आउट देयर. So if you're not sure, you're not careful, people just blindly forward stuff. सोचते भी नहीं है कि ये सही है कि नहीं है. अभी पीछे somebody in a group posted something about Chinese government में कुछ हो रहा था, पता नहीं क्या. And then suddenly I said, okay, very rarely I read WhatsApp forwards, very rarely. But that particular day I just decided to read because of China and abhi, you know, current situation से connected था. So okay, let me just see what this article is all about. You won't believe it. The article was published in 2011. So irrelevant. I mean, 10 years back. ये मुझे पता चल गया. एंड आई वांट टू राइट टू द जेंटलमैन सिंह कि सर ये 2011 का आर्टिकल है. सो बाय द टाइम मैं रेड इट एंड कहना कि इन्होंने पढ़ा है नहीं पढ़ा हमें नहीं पता, इन्होंने ये चीज रजिस्टर करी नहीं करी हमें नहीं पता. बट बाय द टाइम आई वेंट बैक, somebody else had already pointed it out and he was sensible enough to delete it. But imagine so many people doing this. उनको सिर्फ हेडलाइन देखी होगी, उसके बाद डेट तो देखी नहीं उन्होंने. And then it just spiraled out of control, and this is how things go from bad to worse. So you be the responsible one. Let the buck stop with you. Till you're not very sure about the content, you're not very sure whether this is verified, don't share it. Ignore karo. Unless and until वो life threatening चीज है तो ठीक है, otherwise I won't even suggest you go down that path. And then please, like I said, I am a sensitive person. If one of you is, please understand that maybe you don't realize it now, that there is a lot of inappropriate content on the internet which you cannot unsee or unlearn or unknow. Once you know it forever. Once you see it forever. Once you read you, it's always there in your mind. So I always suggest कि मुझे जब कोई ऐसी image लगती है कि this could be something which will impact my mind, I just delete it, or I don't open it, I don't download it, I don't bother to take care of it. वो जब जाती है वो forward में जैसे करके चली जाती है. Right. And the next point, like I mentioned, never post anything when you're angry to sad, cannot just take care of that. हाँ, बहुत ही खुशी is also, you'd say कि नहीं मैम खुशी की चीजें तो हम post कर सकते हैं. When I say talk about awards, achievements in a certain way so that you're showcasing or building a profile, not bajawing your own bhompu, that's a separate thing. Avoid posting all of that. Another thing that is seen a lot of people is overshare. एक मिनट में उनकी ट्वीट आती है, 2 मिनट में फेसबुक पे भी ऐसे फोटो खींच रहे हैं कभी कुछ. Nothing wrong in that, but after some point of time, frankly, a person, especially in your age group, somebody that I'm looking to hire at some stage, I think it's going to be a little, I think you're a very vain person with a lot of free time on your hand. People are going to be judgmental about you or about what you do and what you say. Now, HR guys will be screening through all your Facebook post, your LinkedIn post, your Twitter handle, everything. So I would say that oversharing after a certain point, अगर religious चलता है तो वो religious, एंटी सो एंड सो चलता है तो एंटी सो एंड सो चलता रहता है, उसको अवॉइड करो. few and far in between. If you really want to know the details, I think there are even articles on the internet where they tell you what time to post what. So even LinkedIn के ऊपर, if a post concerning this, what is the right time to post it? So if you really want to add value and not just be another voice in the noise, then please don't overshare. And then definitely, this goes without saying, don't be nasty. Please do not be mean to people on the internet. One, if they are friends, फिर तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं बनता उनसे nasty होना. Two, if they're strangers, they don't count. So, I mean, either ways, being nasty is something I don't personally recommend to anybody. No matter how much in bad taste a particular post is or what the other person is trying to say, if you really don't like it, just scroll through it. That's my policy, at least. Coming to my next slide. 1 second. This is the most important bit. I hope I have time. Looking at this, I think I still have 10 minutes. I should be able to crack this in 10 minutes. So the idea is balance. And the reason why I'm saying this is that I don't agree with people around you, especially in your age group, if somebody's saying that go off social media. I'm so sorry. I completely disagree with that. I think it is critical for young children, young adults to be on social media platforms. When I say young adults, young children, I mean 13 and above, जिनको validity है social media पे होने की. Like Facebook requires you to be 13 years old. So if you're 13 and above, please be on social media. And I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying this. And balance is the key, actually. I'm not saying कि छोड़ दो. I'm not saying सारा time उस पे बैठे रहो. Figure out your balance. You have trackers. I think in all our phones have these trackers nowadays. Will tell you that how much of your time how much screen time you've had. My laptop would tell me 10% down from last week, 20% up from last week. My phone will tell me. So I think those are little checks and balances. If we keep that in mind, we'll at least become aware. अभी तो आप लोगों को पता ही नहीं होगा आप कितने घंटे लगा रहे हो. So this should at least put a number to that okay, fine, so and so Ritika Singh spent 13 hours on the internet today, or opening screen time, and usme se 3 hours here, 2 hours here, 4 hours there, whatever. So at least you will become aware. And I'll tell you why you need to be on it. I think a couple of weeks back, my son had opened a startup, and usme these 4 or 5 kids, they were supposed to be posting every day to keep the startup ka social media handles working and for people to know and do general digital marketing. So this one parent in the group, there were 5 kids and 5 mothers in the group. So this one mother, she gives me a call and she says that I would like you to take over this responsibility because my daughter can't do it. So मैंने पूछा ऐसे क्यों, क्या इशू हो गया? She said उसको रितिका सोशल मीडिया यूज ही नहीं करना आता. मैं कहा अच्छा, हैव अ सरप्राइज. मैं कहा यार 17 साल के 16 साल के बच्चे, इनको सोशल मीडिया यूज नहीं करना आता, मतलब बड़ी स्ट्रिक्ट पेरेंटिंग होंगी, बड़े साऊ बच्चे होंगे. सो आई लेट इट गो. ऐसे ठीक है, नो वरीज, आई मैनेज हर दिस थिंग. सो ऑल द चिल्ड्रन हैड टर्न्स टू पोस्ट एंड शी टोल्ड मी दैट यू टेक माय डॉटर्स टर्न. ऐसे ठीक है, आई विल डू इट. मैं तो वैसे ही कर दूंगी, ऐसे आई विल डू इट, मैं शेड्यूल कर लूंगी, नो वरीज. Then after, I think a couple of days, she again rang me up and she said, Ritika, I need some help. I said, Kya hua? She says, my daughter is trying to build her profile for admissions in the university. So she needs to open a blog and she needs to write in that blog about XYZ, whatever topic. So I said, sure. So she says, since you're a writer, can you help? I said, sure, no problem. You ask her to write the content, send it to me, and I will edit it, delete it, or give you some suggestions, ideas, how to make it better or whatever. So, and I said, then you tell her that not just writing on the blog, ask her to amplify whatever she is writing, because nobody usually comes on blogs to read. Everybody will come to your blog via social media. So you pick up the link, you share it on social media, and then wahan se log aapke blog pe aake aapka blog padhenge. So she was very blank and she was very quiet. So I asked her, I said, what happened? She says, she's not been on any social media platforms, so she doesn't know how to do this. So I was stunned. I said, you have a child who is 15, 16, 17, ready to go to college and live independently a year from now, and they don't even know how to use social media. तो आप जो ये blog लिख रहे हो, जो बनाओगे, इस पे जो action लोगे और उसको social media आप करोगे क्या आगे जाके? So it's not, I mean, there is no world without social media today. Even आपको build profile करने के लिए भी, I mean, think of it like this. When I am talking to somebody, okay, let us say somebody in the US, somebody recommended that, this person does this, Ritika, they're looking for so what would I do? I can't physically go and meet that person, even if though in the same city as I am. I'll first go check out their website, I'll first go check out their LinkedIn profile, see what kind of person there is, and then figure it out from there. So if you have profile, there's no way, I don't even know whether you exist or not. These people are called ghost people because if they don't have social media handles, or if you Google them and you can't find anything on them, they're called ghosts. You don't even know whether they exist or not. So it is that important. So balance is the key. Be on social media, but please see, time yourself, know what you're doing, how much time you're spending, so that at least you have a figure in mind and awareness comes into the picture. Next thing, always have 1 to 2 hobbies that you don't need to be online on. Kuch aisa karo. This is one of the things, frankly, I'll tell you, it's been a year and a half of almost a year, more than a year, going through this corona crisis, which is hitting people worldwide. मेरे जैसे लोगों को कोई वो डिप्रेशन को एंजाइटी कुछ नहीं आता, सिंपली बिकॉज आई हैव टू मेनी वेरिड इंटरेस्ट. आई विल गो एंड आई बाय 1,000. जब लॉकडाउन खुला था 1,000-2,000 के मैं जाके पेंट्स खरीदती, लाइक टू पेंट, आई डू समथिंग व्हिच डजंट रिक्वायर मी टू बी ऑन सोशल मीडिया. बुक्स वर लिमिटेड बिकॉज घर में जितनी बुक्स की लाइब्रेरीज बंद थी, सब कुछ बंद था. हाउ मेनी कैन यू बाय? सो बुक्स वर अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ एन इशू. नेटफ्लिक्स इज टू बोरिंग आफ्टर अ पॉइंट. ठीक है, वन नॉट मूवी कम एंड वॉच इट. सो मल्टीपल हॉबीज. आई गो टू द किचन, आई डू समथिंग, वहां कुछ उठा लूंगी, कबर्ड खोल के कुछ सफाई कर लूंगी, एनीथिंग. एंड आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिस इज माय एज अप्रोप्रिएट थिंग्स. आई एम सेइंग यू कुड पिक अप थिंग्स दैट वर्क फॉर यू. Just pick up anything जहां पे इंटरेस्ट है, कहीं पे कुछ, which does not require you to be online. Unfortunately, अभी तुम्हारी पियानो क्लासेस, गिटार क्लासेस, मैथ्स क्लासेस, सारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम ही ऑनलाइन चल रहा है. So even more necessary now is to pick up hobbies which do not require. So even if it is as simple as photography, all you need is your camera and your phone in hand. But again, usme bhi, this thing is that the phone is still in your hand, so you're still subject to radiation. So pick up things. If you have a DSLR, go use a DSLR. Don't use anything that has radiation in it. Pick up things and the things that make you happy. It's not like किसी ने थप्पड़ मार के बैठाया हुआ ये काम करने के लिए. Things that genuinely you enjoy doing. Then I'm telling you, you can get away from this and not be totally driven at every given single point of time. Because you see that even if I'm, let us say, doing a course online, let us say learning Spanish, अगर मैं Spanish सीख रही हूँ online, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं मेरे को बिकॉज द फोन इज इन माई हैंड, इट्स रेडी एक्सेस. बिटवीन अ सेशन आई जस्ट कंप्लीटली गो एंड से, अच्छा देखो इंस्टा पे कोई नोटिफिकेशन आई, अच्छा देखो फेसबुक पे किसी ने क्या डाला क्या नहीं डाला. सो अवॉइड दैट. द रीजन आई एम सेइंग टू गो इज सो दैट इट गिव्स यू सम ब्रीदिंग स्पेस फ्रॉम योर फोन एंड फ्रॉम सोशल मीडिया. Again, the next thing, invest in real people and relationships. I don't think I need to explain this to any one of you. You probably know this, but still, these are strangers. Some of them are good strangers, but most of them are not. So you may get lucky, you may have some amazing friendships. I have, where men and women both are very stable, very good people I interacted with online, but some very bad people as well, men, women both. So I think since you are young adults, and your focus in life should not be how to deal with this, but on building yourself, doing happy things, doing things that work for you, building your profile, looking for jobs, doing your work. I mean, be in the happy space. Why must you get into a situation where you need to deal with all this negativity? So invest in real people, relationships, talk to people. They are there. I mean, I don't have to tell you, this happened so many times. You're talking to strangers, you don't even know it's their profile. And हम लोग सबसे cute बातें, बच्चे तो और भी ज़्यादा cute बातें करते हैं. When they say, how do I know it's you? How do I know you are real? और वो बंदा आगे से बंदी जो भी आगे से फिर 5 चीजें, you don't trust me वो. And I said, ये बच्चे इतनी cute बातें कैसे कर लेते हैं? How can they just say that? And they'll say, you don't trust me? Please trust me. I'm not like other men. I'm not like other women. I'm not like this. I'm not that. Please don't. ये बड़े पुराने one liners हो गए. Use your common sense. Use your common sense. That's all I like to say. Another thing, what other people think of you on social media does not define you. This is the reason I'm saying that invest in real people, relationships. People around you know who you are. On social media, we all wear the teeny weeny little mask जो हम लोगों से कई बारी गलती से उतर जाता है या जानबूझ के हम उतार देते हैं. But frankly speaking, what other people think of you on social media does not. Matlab, like I'm saying in my next one, that 100 likes on your post does not mean there are 100 people who like you, or it doesn't mean that you have 100 friends. मैं कितनी बारी ये, I think if you go on my Facebook, you will see one of my old posts about a year, 2 years back, when I had said, ki dude or dudette, whoever you are, if you're posting something on social media and I'm putting a heart ka sign on it, it does not mean that I love you. All I'm saying is that I love, and there is a huge difference. And people need to understand that, and you need to understand that. So what other people think and how I'm reacting to your post or whatever does not define the person that you are. It's not the end of the world. और हम लोग सारे, and we all do this. I also do this. मैं अपना फोन उठा के मेरा चेक करती हूँ कितने लाइक्स हैं, कितने लोगों ने किया, कितने लोगों ने क्या किया, कितने लोगों ने कमेंट मारा. फ्रैंकली बताऊं तुम लोगों को, people are just being polite. अब जेन्युइनली कसम खा के खुद को पता कि कितनी बारी आप लोग, कोई ऐसी आपकी फ्रेंड है जो एक पोस्ट डाल देती है जिसमें आपको पता है वो पोस्ट ठीक नहीं है, आपको पता है वो अच्छी नहीं लग रही है उसमें, या वो अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, और वो बिल्कुल ढक्कन वाली हरकतें कर रहा है, बट स्टिल यू विल गो अहेड एंड लाइक इट एंड से वाओ, हम योर फर्स्ट डू दैट, वी ऑल डू दैट. सिमिलरली पीपल डू दिस टू यू. इट्स अबाउट जस्ट बीइंग नाइस टू ईच अदर. कुछ गलत नहीं है इसमें, but those are not validity. So neither when the hatred comes your way nor when those likes come your way, it does not define the kind of person you are. You know, and the biggest issue here is that this can be very misleading. I'll give you an example. If I put out a post which just say, just kind of highlights my writing abilities, okay? जहाँ पे मैं ये बोल रही हूँ कि where I'm writing some good stuff and people say, my God, Ritika, you're such a fantastic writer. 2, 4, 10, 15 लोग हैं, और सोचो अगर मैं इन्हीं लोगों के ऊपर सोच के मैं तो राइटर ही बन जाती हूँ यार, मैं तो इतना अच्छा लिखती हूँ. And imagine if people were just being nice. I would change my entire career. I would change my entire way of doing things. I would change my entire line of work. Just because 500 people said, Ritika, you're an amazing writer. ठीक है, 500 लोगों ने बोला, maybe something, but imagine if this is how we were starting to live our lives, by how other people are defining us and what other people are thinking of us. यही लोग हैं, इनको पूछो अगर कल कि अच्छा, if I'm such a good writer, will you pay me and I will write for you? तो गायब, पता ही नहीं कौन कहाँ पे है. So think through this. When people are even appreciating you or criticizing you, both are to be taken with a pinch of salt. So my next 2 points are covered here, that rejection on social media is not a rejection of you. And 100 likes on social media does not mean 100 times you are likable or you have 100 friends. बहुत जमीन आसमान का फर्क है दोनों बातों में. Next point, this is very important. इट्स योर स्पेस. वो लोग कहते हैं ना कि ये मेरा स्पेस है, ये मेरा हैंडल है, ऋतिका सिंह का हैंडल ऋतिका सिंह का है. व्हाट हैपेंस ऑन द हैंडल आई डिसाइड, बट प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड एट द एंड ऑफ इट ऑल द प्लेटफॉर्म इज नॉट योर्स. आई डोंट ओन फेसबुक, आई डोंट ओन इंस्टाग्राम, आई डोंट ओन एनी ऑफ दीज प्लेटफॉर्म्स. आई एम जस्ट अ यूजर. So you may want to say कि मेरा space or whatever, but at the end of the day, there are guidelines, there are rules, there are regulations, there is basic hygiene that you will need to maintain. Please understand, this is your space, but the platform is not yours. And the moment you don't know when they will block you, they will delete your account, and you know आपने कितने सारे आजकल वो देखे हैं बड़े बड़े सेलिब्रिटीज के अकाउंट्स भी वो लोग ब्लॉक करके खत्म कर देते. Don't spare anybody. So it's a space but not your platform. Learn to respect the platform and the rules on it. And the next thing, the world doesn't owe you anything. ये बहुत पुरानी कहावत है, बड़े बड़े बुजुर्ग ये बोलते हैं. And I'll tell you on your face, every time we are on social media or something happens, जैसे अरे उसको ऐसे करना चाहिए था, अरे उसको ऐसे करना चाहिए. Why did he have to say that? The moment trash the wise. The world doesn't owe you anything. अगर आप सोचो ये उनको ऐसा करना चाहिए था, ये उनका करना बनता था, कुछ नहीं करना बनता था. और ये फंडामेंटली लाइफ का भी ज्ञान है कि the world doesn't owe you anything. Nobody is supposed to give you a job. Nobody is supposed to do things for you. Nobody is supposed to be nice to you. There is no suppose. कुछ नहीं है. The world doesn't owe you anything. And the faster you realize it, the faster it will be a reality check in your life. And yes, it is unfair. Social media is unfair at times. And I'll tell you how I know it. And it is funny, but that's how it operates. I put out a picture of a sunset a couple of weeks back. And somebody else put out a picture of a sunset similar. I won't say कि photograph same थी या उन्होंने मुझे copy किया मुझे क्या. Similar pictures but different pictures. And my post had some 30-40 likes or something. And her post had some 700 likes. And I was trying to think in my head कि इसने ऐसा क्या किया है अलग से जो इसकी पोस्ट को 700 मिले और मेरे को सिर्फ 40 मिले. Sorry, I should just go back to them. मैंने गलती से उसको प्रेस कर दिया था. How does it work? It's unfair, यार. We have similar pictures. Similar pictures. Mine was probably because मेरी है तो मैं तो obviously अपनी picture में. Mine was probably a little better also. But she had 700 likes. I had 40 likes. How does it? It's unfair. It's just how it is. So just deal with it. Don't expectation मत रखो कि उसको ऐसे करना जैसे करें. Just see what you can do on your own. And this again, last but not the least, last two things. Everything on social media doesn't need your attention. बॉस बहुत कुछ हो रहा है दुनिया में. हर चीज को अटेंशन देने लग जाओगे तो अपनी जिंदगी कब जियोगे. फलानी कंट्री में फलानी जगह फलाने बंदे के साथ कुछ हो रहा है. Of course, you need to be socially responsible. You need to support causes. You need to be passionate about your environment, green earth. ये वो सब चीजें अपनी जगह पे हैं. But somebody, random friend, acquaintance that you know is going all out on a particular this thing, so just leave it alone ना. आपको क्या करना. मैं तो scroll through कर देती हूँ. The things I don't say, oh, this is mindless. So mind space देना ही नहीं है आपने. Because बहुत कुछ हो रहा है. Again, going back to my previous point, there's too much of information. So please learn to sift and sort. Everything does not need your attention. और जाती कुछ चीजें उनको जाने दो. You'll have a better this thing and you'll start focusing on the things that really matter. Because it's very easy to get digress. वो आप एक लिंक खोलो and suddenly there are like 5 things. Suddenly उसमें वो ज्वेलरी आ रही जो मैंने आज से 2 दिन पहले नायका पे देखी थी. बीच में वो कुछ और आ रहे जूतों की वो आ रही. Was looking for a pair of shoes for my son. बीच में 4 और चीजें आ रही. How to earn money and get rich overnight. 4 लिंक्स और खुल रहे हैं नीचे. उसी प्लेटफॉर्म के 4 नई बिगर न्यूज आ रही है. So I mean sometimes you think it's a visual mayhem. कई बार मैं तरसती हूँ जब मैं कहीं पे कोई एक आर्टिकल मिलेगा मुझे पढ़ने के लिए जहां पे सिर्फ वो आर्टिकल और वो वर्ड्स हो. बीच में कुकीज वाला आ रहा है. बीच में कुछ आ रहा है. सो इट्स वेरी इजी टू गेट साइड ट्रैक्ड. सो दे कीप योर फोकस एंड एवरीथिंग डजंट नीड योर अटेंशन. लेट थिंग्स बी. Okay, then again, the last but not the least, social media is a resource platform. It's a resource, it's a platform. रहते आप अपने घर में और लाइफ आपकी अपनी है. Beyond social media, it's a part of your life. It's not your life. That's all that I have to say. Thank you so much, everyone. Sir, over to you, Priyesh sir.
Thank you very much, madam. It's very interesting and impactful session. Some questions I have. I will ask.
Please.
How much safe is it to put personal or family photos on social media, as I have seen people getting extremely cautious of not posting them?
Sir, see, it depends on which platform you are posting. सबसे पहले तो वो relevant होना चाहिए. आप LinkedIn के ऊपर जाके family photo share करोगे is not done because LinkedIn is not a place to share personal stuff. It is a place for professional stuff to be shared. Just giving you an example. Second, family photo share करने में बिल्कुल कुछ भी गलत नहीं है. There is nothing wrong in sharing family photos. Just make sure that the people that you're sharing with, either you have your checks and balances, that you have a certain, like Facebook has this option where you can only showcase your pictures to a certain set of friends. So you have that. Instagram mein you have private accounts. All of you must be having private accounts, including me. I have a private account where that these are my safe people. इनके साथ अगर मैं share करूंगी तो it will not be misused or misutilized. So yes, please put it out with caution. If you have any issues in the family, if there is something that you don't want the world to know about, the only way to do it is not to talk about it. It's as simple as that, whether on social media or otherwise. So no harm in sharing photographs. One, on the correct platform. Two, with checks and balances in mind. And third, if you don't have any issues to hide, there's absolutely nothing wrong in sharing family photos. But of course, it cannot be very intimate personal pictures because then again, the world is very judgmental. I personally will not do that. I would pick up things which are harmless and fun and more like sometimes emotional stuff, which could be about how overwhelmed you are, thanking people, gratitude, blessing, wo alag jagah pe hai. But intimate pictures which can get a little judgmental, I would avoid that.
Okay. Second question, madam. What are impactful ways of showcasing achievements or skill sets on social media?
Very good one. Uske liye you should go to my LinkedIn profile and on my Facebook page. So since I'm a digital marketer, if any one of you happy to connect and happy to help you, you can write to sir. He can forward your queries to me. Think through everything that you are posting, the kind of impact it will have. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, I have very subtly woven into all my skills and my achievements in my profile. So the only way to do it is, one, make sure that you're appreciating others. It's not that ye mera kya, ye maine kya, that won't happen. You have to be good first in order to someone to be good to you. So if you want to have this thing, frankly, social media is I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Sab log aisa nahi karte, but the fundamentals start from there. So 50% of your likes and posts come because 50% तुमने किसी के like post को like किया, share किया, whatever किया. So और एक अपना तुम्हारा internal support होता. I know there are these 5-10 people. मैं कुछ भी डाल दूं LinkedIn के ऊपर ना, they will go ahead and like it. They're sweethearts. They're people who believe in me, people who know I'm doing the right thing, people who know I would do that the content will be amazing if I'm putting something out there. So at the end of it, take it with a pinch of salt. But a good way to do it is to showcase all of that on LinkedIn. So for example, you won an award. Okay, so forget that. जैसे मैंने आज कल अपने उस पे लिखा है, I am feeling very great. For me, it's an achievement to be speaking at Parul University. ठीक है, so what have I done? If I go to my LinkedIn profile, sir, you know my profile. वहाँ पे जाइए, वहाँ देखिए how nicely. All I'm doing is being humble, saying thank you so much, Priya sir, thank you Parul University for giving me the opportunity. At the same time, I'm saying this is what the topic I'm speaking on. So 100 other people will see that these are topics that Ritika. I think Priya sir, if I'm right, you found me out on LinkedIn.
Yes.
That's right. So this opportunity is coming to me because I posted 5 other things that I did with other universities or other organizations. That's why Priyesh sir connected with me, and here I am speaking at Parul University. So a good way to do this is showcase, talk about, and don't brag about it, but उसको categorically mention करो that this is your skill set. ये exactly तुम्हें इस चीज के लिए बताता है, and humbled and thank you and grateful is a very nice way of putting it. You just don't sound like a brag. That's all.
Agree.
Very simple.
Okay, madam. So we are going to end this webinar. I would like to thank speaker for giving us interesting, enlightening, and amazing session. We hope this webinar will inspire our students as well as other viewers. I extend my thanks to our system support staff, Bridges sir, Dhruvin sir, and their teams, and special thanks to Ritika madam to giving very nice and impactful information regarding to the social media. Thank you very much, madam, on the behalf of Chemical Engineering Department, PIT, Parul University.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, everyone. I hope you found my, some value addition to what I've said today. God bless you all. Be safe. Thank you so much, sir, once again.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Bye-bye.